Why, hello there, fellow potters. Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Vintage Story Primitive Survival. Episode 3, Firing Up Some Clay Vessels. Alright, about clay forming, or about pit kilning. So this overhang is where I'm gonna put the pit kilns. But before I do it, I want to remove any potential flammables from the area because I don't want to start a forest fire. So I'm going to dig up the dirt to remove the grass and then replace it with packed dirt so that it can't burn anything unintended. Alternatively, you could use like sand if you have access to sand. Just something that doesn't allow for grass growth. And then you want an overhang so that rain can't get into your pit to put them out. Realistically, it'd make more sense if I did it like this. Spacing them out better. Alright, so we'll have one pit, 2, 3, 4. 4 pits is probably fine. Let's also replace this dirt too. For the same reason, because grass can grow down there. Alright, so there's our pits. And I'll cover the torch too. So now we have a place to put the clay storage vessel. And let's go ahead and I'm gonna fire them all together. So let's go ahead and make the other stuff we want. So the next thing we want to do is a hammer mold, a pick mold, so that when we have molten copper, we can turn it into a pick and hammer so that we can start mining for copper rather than having to scavenge for copper. That will be a huge improvement. So there's the hammer mold. I can't see anything. There we go. Hammer mold's down. And a pick mold. And the way this works is you use up clay based upon the available voxels at the top, and then every time you run out of voxels, it uses another unit of clay, and then you can recover it by clicking the mistakes. And then left alt allows you to move your mouse around. Let's just leave that there. So, hammer, pick, storage vessel. The last form I'm going to do is going to be a whole bunch. So I'm going to do a jug for water. Because a jug can hold up to 3 liters of a liquid. And if you look at my hydration, you can see that I'm rather thirsty. So it'd be great if I could boil water for hydration. So there's a few different ways to tackle hydration. You can make soups, but soups require a vegetable. I could obviously forage for mushrooms pretty easily, but if you want to make like very hearty meat stews, getting your hydration through boiled water is fine. So now we have a jug. I'm going to do 2 different clay crocks. Actually might do 3 clay crocks. Yeah, I think I'm going to do 3 clay crocks here. Oh, actually, I don't want a crock. Hold on. I want a cooking pot. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, I'm going to do 4... Oh, that was Crocs again. Why do I keep doing this to myself? Okay, I want 4 clay cooking pots. So I'll do 5 pit kiln burns. I'll put all 4 of these into one. And the reason for this is so that I can have, like, boiled water in one, and, like, meat stew in another, and, soup in a third, and the 4th could be, you know, some other stored food or something. Porridge or, I don't know, grain-based. So then, accompanying the jug, I'll add a crucible and then 2 bowls. And that will be my first pit kiln burns. So 4 crocks, a jug, 2 crucible, 2 bowls, pick mold, axe mold, or sorry, pick mold, hammer mold, and vessel. You hope I find tin easier than you? I hope so too. This is so sloppy. Okay, whatever. There we go. And these, of course, need to be fired. That's the whole purpose of the pit kiln. So what I'm saying is I'm going to do one more firing over here. All right. Crucible time. So the crucible is what you melt metals in. And then once we do our first metal melting, we'll also need tongs so we can handle it. But that's, you know, a project for later. Because these will take about a day to form, to burn. Oops. There's the crucible, and then 2 food bowls. Actually, yeah, whatever. I'll do it like this. I was thinking about just doing a 4 batch and only firing 2 of them. Food bowls are so easy to play form. Not a big problem. Okay. We need 50 grass. It's 10 grass per burn. And then 40 sticks. And then, 24 firewood, I think. Because the storage vessel will require more firewood than the others. So 30 more grass. There are better tools for this that we'll get later on with, like, metalworking, like scythes do grass very efficiently. But that's mostly a tool for if you have animals to feed that eat hay. You wouldn't normally have to make a scythe other than that use case. Okay, that part's done. I'm going to need another axe. And we're going to take some of the firewood that I've already cut and turn some of it into sticks. After I, like, hydrate and eat, because my character is dying. Well, not yet dying, but, like, will die if I don't manage that stuff. Yep, we're just drinking river water. Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah, and then we'll cook up some fish. So I'm going to take the edge off of my, like, super duper poor food with termites, and then we'll bake some fish. So we've got carp, catfish, and I forget, I didn't see what the last one was. But 2 of the fish were ovulating eggs, and that's a really good thing because you can dump ovulated eggs back into the water to replenish the fish stocks. Eventually, I intend to make soups and stews out of the fish, but for now, fish fillets are totally fine. And just double check the weird traps. Yeah, we're good. Cool. All right, sticks. Right. So each of these pit kilns then require 8 sticks apiece. So 1, 2, 3, 4 times 8. Actually, let's do a few more for good measure, because I don't want to run out of sticks. Because if you run out of sticks, it's kind of annoying, because then you can't make tools to replace the sticks that you ran out of. So you don't want to be in a position where you're just, like, out of sticks. Okay, so I have 33 sticks left. Perfect. And these fish fillets don't last for very long, but I did just fill up all my food. Alright, and the last step is firewood. We want to place firewood. Let me put a torch down. Want to place firewood on these. The storage vessel, because it's really tall, requires 8. Normally they require only 4. And then let it on fire and then wait for a day. And as long as they stay dry, and I have a dirt overhang for that, we'll end up with fired clay goods. Or cooking pots. Lit. Crucible, 2 bowls, jug. Lit. Axe mold. Lit. Hammer mold. Lit. And pit kiln with the storage vessel. Lit. Oh, I have a mod that adds realistic smoke. So when I have a lot of, let me get rid of some of these torches. When I have a lot of things generating smoke, it will get pretty smoky in my little hut. Basically, chimneys are required. Okay, now that that's done, I am going to... It is 4 in the morning, so I'm going to make another storage vessel to be fired in my second batch. So I want eventually like an axe mold and a shovel mold and things like that. But I'm not going to be able to go find copper in the darkness, so I'm going to wait until it's light out. So the bits all the way far east, Krieg, you were saying should be still there? Is that the TLDR of your message? Sorry, I've been inattentive. Got it. So the way that fish stocks work in the game is the entire world is broken up into chunks, and the amount of fish that you can fish is based upon the chunk. So all ponds in the game, if I built a new pond from scratch, they will have fish in it based upon the chunk data. So you don't need to like put ovulated eggs into your pond to start, because all chunks will have fish. If that makes sense. And I really like storage vessels as a storage item. The other storage items that we have access to right now without like metal tools would just be like reed storage, which I could absolutely get. They just don't come with the benefit of okay, it's bright enough, sweet. They don't come with the benefit of being able to hold very much. So one of the issues I got right now is like I have a pretty full inventory. So you're saying these should still be here. Okay. So we'll head that way. Grab our copper. And the current priority right now is to find 40 copper nuggets. And 40 is the magic number, because with 40 we can start mining and turning that into more copper. Before I do that, I'm actually going to make reed storage. I'm going to make reed storage first. Because I just have a very full inventory. So the reed storage I'm talking about would be the baskets, which are more expensive, the chests. So we're gonna need to cut a whole bunch of papyrus for that, I think. Because I don't want to find important things and then not have any space for it. Ooh, we have like a... You know, like the pond I picked here is pretty. I don't know if it's going to be... I'm actually fairly certain it's not going to be my permanent base location, because I want my permanent base location to be closer to oceans, so that I can do seafaring if I want to, and then also I can... take seawater and turn it into salt, so I can salt my foods. There are venomous snakes. I don't know what to look out for, but I gotta be cautious about that. Yeah, I can also turn the reed chest into traps later on if I want to try to trap bunnies or what else goes in them? Really just bunnies. But yeah, that's also a possibility. Chickens too, yeah, right. I forgot about chickens. And probably 2 reed chests are going to be enough for me to offload most of my goods into the base so that I can go and explore again. So I have enough for one of them so far. There's one. And they're an 8 slaughter. You just can't carry it with you. If you're wondering why I'm not, like, putting them in my backpack slot. It's because you can't. Now, where is there... Oh, yeah, here's some pawns. So it's what, 24 reeds? Because it's 3 times 8. I also, oh, that is a lot of red clay right next to the base. Let me just go punch that. Boom. Nice, I have enough. Alright, let's get this set up in the base. And then hunt for... Oh, hello, speaking of hunting. Hunt for some more copper. Also would be maybe not a bad idea to top up on my termites, because they've been filling my needs. Once I have the soup pots, I can start to do soups and vegetable stews and fish soups. So my options for food will increase dramatically. And I like to put my papyrus chests like on the ceiling like this so that they're up and out of the way. That way I'm not competing for space. So actually, that's all that I wanted to put away. I only needed the one. So let's head east. Eastward bound. And it looks like we have lovely weather. So I am pleased as punch. I'll be able to actually see stuff. And now that I said that out loud, I'm sure I jinxed it, but let's hope not. As I hear it starting to rain. Damn you! Pain is probably most dangerous in this like thick grass, especially at night, because you could stumble into them while they're like on the ground sleeping, and you wouldn't know it. Okay, honing in, trying to find the orange stuff. And I'll even put my copper in my belt slot so we can see how much copper I have. Because the big number is 40. As soon as when I hit 40, everything picks up pace considerably. And I did mention wanting more termites because I'm low on food. So we found 2 nodes of copper here in this chunk, which means the soil thickness is low. Low enough to actually spot it. So this area might be good to continue searching in. Oh, wow. I was like on top of one. I had no idea. Every time I like do the paranoid circling around while resource harvesting, it reminds me of playing the game Rust. Early game Rust, where you're like naked with a stone trying to harvest trees, and you're so worried about other naked stonemen murdering you that you paranoid like run in circles. Can't say it's a fond memory, but it's a memory all the same. So around this area, we found a decent amount of copper so far. Let's hope our luck holds. We're a little over a quarter of the way there. We got more clay. I'm a real boss in spotting clay. Don't. You ran from me? Brilliant. I'm all about that. He saw me with my spear out and he was like, nope. Just hard, nope. About face, nope. Just chilling here, munching my bugs. I shouldn't bother with these mini mounds. Barely give you any. So we're just a little north of the other spot of copper we know about. Oh my god. So many! Ah! I was ready to throw down and defend myself against the one and then look around and there's like 2 more. It's like, nope. I am very mortal. I want to get the hell out of Dodge. Oops. So this is obviously ocean water, which is important because, as I mentioned before, if I want to easily get salt, because without mods in Vintage Story, if you want salt, you need to find a salt dome, which are very hard to find. So I have a mod that allows us to make salt. Granted, it's not efficient, but allows you to barrel it up and evaporate it, which is just, you know, as long as you have ocean water. And that's just a lot more reasonable, given the amount of effort it is to try to find salt domes normally. So, I like how they're running from me. Although I don't like this sandstorm. Game's doing the whole, like, guess what? Visibility sucks again. What's crazy, I haven't found any quartz or anything like that. So here are the bits that I didn't pick up earlier. And now all the copper bits that are on the map have been surface fetched, and we're up to 13. So those bits I just grabbed sucked. Sometimes you get like more than 1 per pickup, and not in this case. Now, another thing that I should note is I shouldn't wander more than like a 10-minute walk away from my home. And the reason for that is if I die, I drop my stuff and I respawn at the bed that I have back in my like little mud shack. And then I have 10 minutes to get back to my corpse before everything disappears. So being within 10 minutes of home is important. Which means if I don't find stuff, like, out sweeping this way, I should just keep circling around. Because I don't want to stray too far from home. Because I could run the risk of losing all my copper and being back at 0, and that would be devastating. Or, you know, if I, like, fell into a hole like this one. That would be pretty fatal. And it would be very difficult to fetch. Oh, this is ocean water. I was about to hydrate there. Nope, nope, not doing that. Oh, meteoric ore. Cool. That'll be useful, like, much, much, much later on. If you're wondering, I'm not really intending to make the push to steal. because there aren't any horrors in the game, the need for like high tier gear is very, very low. I don't really need steel gear. So the effort of making steel, who cares? So meteoric iron is probably where I'm going to top out at, just because the amount of labor it takes to make steel just probably isn't worth it. Labor and time and all that. I mean, maybe I'll change my mind, but I kind of doubt it. So this biome here is pretty good for finding copper. Not too much grass. Just for the life of me, can't spot any. I don't really want to go into those trees, though. I'm going to lose visibility. More red clay. And the reason why I'm continuing to mark this stuff down is at some point I'm going to want to... Oh, a whole bunch of chickens. At some point I'm going to want to settle in on a permanent location to live. One that has access to a large pond of fresh water and the ocean and, you know, potentially flat and open for good visibility and all those other factors. And marking everything as I go will allow me to know where the important resources are for when I, like, pick a permanent location. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying not to overinvest in my current little mud shack so that I can leave it quickly. So I'm intentionally not going to be installing a lot of stuff in there, like setting up farming or anything, because farms don't move. You know, not adding a lot of storage to try to keep everything light and mobile. That's all purposeful. God. I think I hear bees, maybe? Yeah. Before, I thought I only might have heard bees. I definitely hear bees here. They're like up in the higher treetops. So I'll mark this down as bees. For later. If we want to do beekeeping. I think pink bonnet's poisonous, right? Yes. Pink bonnet's poisonous, but deer ear isn't. So I've been through here already. Backtracking on where I've already explored might not be the best way to find copper, but my visibility is a lot better now than it has been for a while. And I opened my big mouth, and now it's raining. Maybe what we'll do is head... So I don't want to go anywhere where it's... the grass is this thick, because spotting anything is rather difficult. So that's home over there. Wow, look at all that smoke coming off the pit kilns. So pick a good destination. The last time I was up in the granite sandfields in the north, it was like a dust storm, so I couldn't see very well. So I'm going to try to go up there again. Why is it so scarce? Yeah, whoa, Jesus. It's just like map RNG. It's a mix of, I would say mostly, if I was to guess, it's soil thickness. I had just mentioned this, but you only get nuggets when the surface deposits are within a certain range of the surface. So if the soil is too thick, you end up with a situation where you have a lot of surface deposits of copper, but they're just not close enough to the top to generate nuggets. So I'm sure there's like loads of surface copper kind of everywhere, and they're just out of sight. They're just enough below the surface that I won't spot them. So what you're looking for is you're looking to find areas of the map where the distance between the surface and the stone is thin, like this, only 2 deep, so that surface nuggets can generate, because they won't generate if it's too deep. And you can check soil depth as you explore to make sure that you're not somewhere where it's just not going to render. So this is only like 2 or 3 deep. And most gravel fields are like that. Which is why, because there's no sand, and surface depth is shallow, because it's not going to render with like 5 units of sand or gravel, because it's just not that realistic. That's not how the worlds generate. It's why gravel fields tend to be a good place to pick up copper, but like, not for me, apparently. At least I have visibility. Could be worse. But I am not spotting anything orange anywhere. This is brutal. I might get to the point where I need to go somewhere totally new. So I've done a lot of like studying of surface resource generation to avoid problems like this one. And sometimes you're just in chunks that just don't have a lot of surface copper. And like that very much could be the case that I'm facing right now, where it's just like the chunks I spawned in are just very surface copper rare. And in order to remedy that, I'm just going to have to go somewhere totally new. So I'm going to venture here. It's far away. It's annoying, but like, I think we're at the point where I need to do something annoying to remedy this problem. It's wandering around the same few chunks is not going to fix anything. Running or hunting? Hunting. Couldn't tell. That hyena was like, oh, I don't know. I'm gonna give you the sidestep razzle dazzle. No, you won't. You'll get stabbed. Maybe leave the copper home first? It'd be wise. But, I'm not gonna waste more time. Because I don't have a lot of sunlight left. It's already 4 p.m. In truth, I probably shouldn't be venturing out, because I'm gonna lose sunlight. But, I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna ignore reason. Okay. It was an interesting interaction. You saw I was ready to throw fists and was like, yeah, not fighting you. Alright, my hydration is miserable, so let's get to a pond. Cheers. So here we are in a more jungly biome. It's much harder to see through the bushes. Much easier for me to get ambushed by venomous snakes and hyenas and stuff. So I gotta be careful around here. That's why I'm paranoid looking around. Although some of the snakes that are venomous are like tiny. You're not gonna find them until they bite you. It sucks. So who cursed my map seed for like no copper? It's funny, in some of the other plays I've had, it's just like I'm swimming in the stuff really early on. Also, one other thing I've not found is peat. It's been pretty peatless too, now that I think about it. I haven't exactly been looking for peat, nor would I really need it. It's not like a vital... I mean, it certainly helps to cook with, because it's a pretty low labor heat source. Oh god. That could have... Wow, it really is like an underground cavern. But yeah, I haven't found any peat either. Still granite sand. I was kind of hoping it was chalk sand. It looks almost chalk white. Because chalk is would be a nice thing to find for lime. That would be potentially one of the requirements for leather making. Is to get some lime from like chalk or marble and do a lime wash. Oh god. Some of these holes are just insta-death. So if I want to head to my marker, I have to cut over this hill. I've been trying to avoid going, but it's unavoidable now. And I'm definitely going to spend a night out of home. Like, I don't think I'm getting home tonight. Thank you for tuning in to Vintage Story Primitive Survival, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Radamat.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Radamat.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Seraphs.